The best years leave things to remember. 1985 left plenty. A triple crown for Oh So Sharp.
Into the lead, and it's Oh So Sharp who's...
A runaway derby for Slip Anchor.
Slip Anchor maintaining his clear lead. Slip Anchor.
A real champion for Dubai.
Pebbles, and it's Pebbles cruising into the lead from Helen Street. Slip Anchor comes next. Then after
the trickiest two-year-old puzzle in years.
Challenged by Huntingdale on the stand side and Shoreblade on the far side, but it's Huntingdale.
A big year for Britain abroad. And amongst the jumpers, nothing more remarkable than the Grand National Nobody Bet.
Definite advantage now from Last Suspect, jumping up into second pass, playing past Lupatino, who's beginning to weaken in third.
Yes, another year's over, and in the next couple of hours we aim to relive it with the most extensive video record ever assembled on one tape. We'll end with the very best of the jumping scene. We'll give you the clues to the most complicated two-year-old picture for many seasons, and we start with a look back at other major events in the flat racing year. As so often, the first significant action came at the opening Newmarket meeting. The race was the Craven Stakes, and beforehand hopes of major stardom were still advanced for at least 4 of the runners. Local Suitor, winner of the Mill Reef as a 2-year-old, Herald East, a Henry Cecil flag carrier, Damister, runner-up in the Futurity, and Shadid, impressive winner of the Houghton Stakes. On this day, only Shadid staked his claim.
Right on the heels of the leader, tracking Shadid, is Local Suitor and also Herald East as they come towards the bushes where Shadid has now gone up to dispute the lead with Tom Boat. They're coming down into the dip, and it's Shadid who's hit the front. Damister trying to get on terms with him, coming with a run from way back. Local Suitor and Herald East dropping out of contention, Mr. JZ. But as they race now inside the final furlong, and Shadid a storm clear from Damister, Herald East and Local Suitor.
A flying start there for Michael Stout and stable jockey Walter Swinburne. A day later, there was more good news, with a stylish first appearance by the Mill Reef colt, Miller's Mate, in the Wood Ditton.
Going clear as they pass the bushes is Miller's Mate, being chased by Supreme Leader, who's made good headway, Happy House after this. Not a lot between the two groups as they go down into the dip, and on the far side we have Miller's Mate, who's probably just ahead, in fact going on very strongly up the rising ground, and with a half furlong to race now, Miller's Mate has gone clear on the far side, followed by Supreme Leader, then near side Costar, followed by Van der Frost.
An impressive show there by a new card in the classic pack. But amongst the fillies, it was the established stars who dominated the first major trial, the Nell Gwynn Stakes, over the Newmarket 7.
By Oh So Sharp, who's one off the far rails. Bella Calora just in front of these two, only by about a neck. Helen Street coming through on the far rails as Charge Along fades. They pass the bushes with Bella Calora and Oh So Sharp, the two leaders from Helen Street. K Sympatica is fourth, and Cherry Ridge coming with a run from the rear of the field as they race down into the dip. A furlong and a quarter to go. It's Oh So Sharp on the far rails. Bella Calora in second place. These two are clear of Helen Street. 150 yards to go, and Oh So Sharp quickening away. She's clear of Bella Calora in second. Helen Street is third, and close home, Oh So Sharp is clear.
Even if Oh So Sharp's style didn't convince everybody there, subsequent events were to show she wasn't beating donkeys. The next day saw another fillies trial, the Fred Darling at Newbury, and the question, would Alba Hathry continue her trailblazing tactics of the previous season?
And it's High Tech Girl from Axe Valley and Alba Hathry with Ever Genial trying to get on terms with the leaders as they come inside the 2 furlong pole. Alba Hathry now just going on with Top Socialite finishing strongly on the outside. Coming with a run is River Spey, but as they come down inside the final furlong, and it's Top Socialite and Alba Hathry, there's not a great deal to choose between these two, and they are clear from the very fast finishing Merle.
After this, Tom Jones and Tony Murray vowed never again to try restraining Alba Hathry. And this was one time when excuses proved valid. Back to the Colts next day, and highly rated Ban up against Horace Hill winner Officio and the Middle Park victor Bassenthwaite.
Final quarter, and Durham Place on the rails, and C. Signor with Bern taking much closer order, beginning to drop right out of contention Rotherfield Greys. They've got a furlong and a half to race, and it's C. Signor with Bern and Bassenthwaite now coming to join C. Signor. Durham Place dropping out of contention, and as they race inside the final furlong, and it is Bern who leads from Bassenthwaite, and these two going on from Officio, approaching the line, Bern from Bassenthwaite.
Bern putting himself right in the Guineas picture, but on now to Derby hopes. The Guardian Classic Trial at Sandown, Craven Stakes runner-up Damister, facing the still enigmatic Potowski and the highly priced Gallant Archer.
Little to choose between the pair. Potowski goes third. Coelan is now fourth as they come to the final quarter mile. Damister is now quick and clear. Damister inside the final 2 furlongs has gone clear of Potowski, who's second. Gallant Archer is third. And as they race now to the final furlong, it's Damister with the advantage. Potowski's battling into second. After this comes Gallant Archer in third and racing well inside the final furlong. Damister's the leader, Potowski's second. Close home, it's Damister the leader. Damister from Potowski in second with Gallant Archer in third.
And now the first of the classics, the 1,000 guineas, with the home contingent challenged by Triptyque and Aviance from Ireland, Antarctica and Villicaya from France.
Bella Colora the first to show. Bella Colora from Alba Hathry, and Cashy Lagoon going up to join those. They're followed by Stella Grandi and Oh So Sharp. Those are the leading 5. They're followed by K. Simpatica as they run down to the 6 furlong marker. Bella Colora from Alba Hathry, they're 1 and 2. Cashy Lagoon just 1 off the fences, close up in third, followed by Stella Grandi and K. Simpatica. Ula Lang and Oh So Sharp just behind those. But as they run down to the 5 furlong from home marker, and Bella Colora, the leader from Alba Hathry, is back to the grandstand.
So Bella Colora continues to take them along as they approach halfway. Alba Hathry a close second. Stella Grandi on the far rails. K. Simpatica is close behind them. Cashy Lagoon towards the stand side. Ula Lang not far behind towards the far rails. So they race up towards the final 3 furlongs, up towards the bushes. Bella Colora on the far rail, Alba Hathry 1 off the rails, these two very close. K. Simpatica, Triptyque towards the stand side making steady headway. Oh So Sharp making steady ground, these followed by Ula Lang and Merle and Hilly, and after these comes Villicaya, followed by Aviance. They come to the final quarter mile in the 1,000 guineas. Bella Colora being strongly challenged by Alba Hathry. These two are clear of Oh So Sharp, and then after these comes Triptyque and Villicaya finishing well. Ill inside the final furlong, little to choose between Alba Hathry and Bella Colora. These two a length or so clear of Oh So Sharp in third, then after this Villicaya 4 going for the line. Bella Colora just in front.
The photo showed that Oh So Sharp had got home by a short head from Alba Hathry, with Bella Colora only another short head away in third. For the record, the closest classic finish since they began in 1776. A day later, we had drama of a different kind and at the other end of a race. An extraordinary escape for Jeff Baxter when Gay Lemur ran out of room in the Jockey Club Stakes. Things were far less crowded at the finish.
Kerman from the loose horse Galima. It'll be close for second, but well inside the final furlong. Kerman will clear from Jupiter Island and Art Edict.
On to the 2,000 guineas. Shadid, now ridden by Lester Piggott in place of the suspended Walter Swinburne, started at odds on. But Ban, the horse Piggott rejected, nearly made him regret the switch.
Shadid close up in third. Behind these, Lanfranco and Ephysio, and then Over the Ocean, and then just behind those is Chancellor Million, and a blistering gallop still. Pacific Gold is the leader. Chardid just behind him on the far rail. Northern Chimes right with them. Ephysio just behind the leaders, together with Over the Ocean. They've got about 5.5 furlongs to run, and Pacific Gold still maintaining this tremendous place from Chardid and Chancellor Million, and then Ephysio just behind the leaders. Over the Ocean is prominent, but with just under 5 to go, Pacific Gold the leader, Chardid right there, back to the grandstand.
So Pacific Gold still just in front with Northern Chimes beginning to come under pressure. Chardid going very easily on the far rails with Lanfranco and Ephysio, and Over the Ocean just behind him, and Bern making steady headway through, and Supreme Leader on the stand sides. They race up now towards the bushes, something over 3 furlongs to go. Chardid on the rails, just got his head in front now from Pacific Gold. Bern's going in chase on the far side, and Ephysio's not far behind. Then after these come Over the Ocean as they come up now to the final 2 furlongs, with Chardid having a clear lead from Bern in second. Then after these, Supreme Leader's third as they come to the final furlong in the Guineas. It's Chardid the leader, Bern challenging strongly in third place, Supreme Leader, Bassenthwaite 4, Royal Harmony 5, and racing uphill. Chardid being strongly challenged by Bern in second with 100 yards to go. Chardid is the leader in the Guineas. Chardid from Bern, and then after these comes Supreme Leader.
Chardid, the 29th and final classic victory for the unique talents of Lester Piggott. And if Chardid's fluency may have been partially affected by an injured foot, far worse was to happen to his stable companion Miller's Mate when he took on Law Society in the Chester Vase.
Just from Miller's Mate, the favourite on the outside, a close second. Petoskey is making his move now. He's gone third in front of Assemblyman, and finally Tango Nat finding the pace too hot. The outsider has dropped back last. Coming now to the final furlong and a half of the Chester Vase, and it's Law Society from Miller's Mate, then Petoskey in third place into the final furlong, and Miller's Mate has been pulled up. Miller's Mate is injured and is pulled up, and it's Law Society going clear and racing up towards the line. It's Law Society clear of Petoskey in second place.
It looked like a fatal moment for Miller's Mate, but the wonders of veterinary science have saved him for stud. Law Society's victory was pleasing enough, but it was a rare one for Irish Raiders in '85, and wasn't continued by his compatriot, Blushing Redhead, in the Lingfield Oaks trials 4 days later, where hopes were high for a royal victory with Silver Dollar.
And as they come to the final 2 furlongs, and it's Little Deep Water and Blushing Redhead from Silver Dollar, with Kilininsky making strong headway, but as they come down now with Grace Note also making rapid headway, and as they come inside the final furlong, and it's Little Deep Water and Kilininsky coming now to join them. Kilininsky just going on now, approaching the line. Kilininsky in the lead from Grace Note and Little Deep Water.
But despite that effort, Kilininsky didn't inspire massive support for her Oaks chance. Things went rather differently for Slip Anchor in the Derby trial half an hour later.
Outside to be second, followed by Lord Grundy and Kazam, with Troy Fair continuing to make headway. Cadmium is losing ground. They're coming to the final quarter, and it is Slip Anchor with Lord Grundy trying to get on terms with him. A furlong and a half out, and Slip Anchor is the leader from Lord Grundy. Then comes Kazam and Kublai, and as they race towards the final furlong, and it is Slip Anchor who has made every yard of the running and is clear from Lord Grundy, and Cadmium running on again on the inside.
He'll run them into the ground, said Steve Cawthon afterwards. And, as if for rehearsal, that's just what Steve did with Fatter Flair in the Musidora at York the following week.
Comes under pressure in second place. Dubian is third, Cherry Ridge 4, Helen Street making headway into 5, teased 6. They've got a furlong and a half to race, and Fatter Flair remains in front. She's been in front throughout. Dubian is now the challenger in second. Evergenial is third. Helen Street 4, but the field well strung out inside the final furlong. Fatter Flair being strongly challenged now by Dubian in the last 100 yards. It's Fatter Flair holding on from Dubian, and close home Fatter Flair's the leader from Dubian.
Fatter Flair all the way, and next day Cawthon tried the front again with Van der France in what looked to be the most important of the Derby trials.
With on the stand side of him, Damister. Close behind these, Royal Harmony, and then Les Arcs and Reach. They've got 2.5 furlongs remaining in the Mercadante, and Damister now challenging strongly on the stand side from Van der France. These are a couple of 3 lengths clear of Les Arcs in third. Reach 4, Royal Harmony 5, and Damister now goes on as they come to the final furlong. Damister has gone a length clear of Van der France in second, Les Arcs third, Reach 4. They've got 150 yards remaining, and Damister quickly draws clear of Van der France in second. Then comes Reach in third, and going for the line, it's Damister, the clear leader from Van der France and Reach.
Out of that race, Damister, Reach and Royal Harmony went on towards the Derby. But 2 days later at Newbury, Reach's older stable companion Sarab started favourite in what looked an intensely competitive Lock-in Stakes. Looks turned out to be true.
Pencil is still there as they come down towards the final quarter, with Cataldi now being swept through to join Sarab, Rock Martin on the outside and Hadges. They're followed by Prismatic, and as they come towards the final furlong, and it's Teleprompter from Prismatic who's putting in a strong run. Inside the last 150 yards, Teleprompter being joined in the lead by Prismatic, approaching the line, and Prismatic from Teleprompter and Sarab.
Prismatic just holding off Teleprompter's renewed challenge. Third place Sarab didn't quite last the mile, and again it was a question of stamina when Oaks Hope Bella Calora tried 1.25 miles in Goodwood's Loopy Stakes. But this time, the test was passed.
Final 3 furlongs, and Goody Blake has gone on from Bella Calora with I Want to Be, trying to get on terms. Gay Helene is just behind them, and as they come into the final quarter, it is Bella Calora who's moved smoothly up into the lead from, in second place, Gay Helene and Goody Blake. Then, as they come inside the final furlong, and Bella Calora in the lead from Goody Blake and Gay Helene.
Bella Calora there, upholding the 1,000 guineas form, as did both Alba Hathry and Villicaya when they met again in the Irish 1,000.
Colours, Defena with Top Socialite, Villicaya with the white face towards the far side inside the last quarter mile now, and Alba Hathry, Top Socialite on the near side, Villicaya between them, then Defena. Triptych has dropped back 5th. They're clear of Dover Lady as they race down towards the furlong marker now. Villicaya in the centre on the far side, Alba Hathry on the near side, Top Socialite, and they're clear of Defena inside the last half furlong. Villicaya for France on the near side, Top Socialite for England, and Alba Hathry on the far side as they race up towards the finish. Alba Hathry on the inside, Alba Hathry leads as they go to the line. Alba Hathry wins it for England from Villicaya for France.
The understarters' orders, and they're off.
And so to the Derby and the total fulfilment of Steve Cawthon's prophecy for Slip Anchor. But don't forget that on the day there was plenty of support for Shadid, for Vincent O'Brien's Law Society, even for Damister and Theatrical. They never had a prayer.
The pace is being dictated by Slip Anchor. Syrah is second, Snowplant is third, Fardante is fourth, Lanfranco is fifth. Prominent on the outside behind these is Supreme Leader, and Damister has now been dropped out to last place with Theatrical last but one. They've covered just over a quarter of a mile, and the pace being set by Slip Anchor from Snowplant. Close up behind Snowplant is Law Society, with at the rear of the field Theatrical and Main Reason. They're coming now towards the top of the hill, and the pace being made by Slip Anchor. Fardante has gone up to be second. Shadid has now gone to be third. And behind Shadid comes Lanfranco. And behind Lanfranco is Main Reason. At the top of Tatnam Corner, they're at the halfway stage of the race, and Slip Anchor maintaining his lead. It's a clear lead of some 4 lengths, with Fardanti in second place. Petoskey moving up towards the leaders. They're coming down the hill, and Slip Anchor maintaining his clear lead. Slip Anchor, the leader. Petoskey is second. Supreme Leader is in third place. They're coming into the straight. They have just over 3 furlongs to race, and a little bit of headway being made by Theatrical. Law Society is trying to get on terms, but as they come towards the final 2 furlongs, and it is Slip Anchor maintaining his clear lead. Slip Anchor storming home, Law Society in second place. Supreme Leader is third. Slip Anchor, the clear leader, coming to the final furlong, and Slip Anchor has never been headed throughout the race. Slip Anchor winning the Derby from, in second place, Law Society, and finishing quite strongly, Damaster. Slip Anchor, the leader at the line.
That's one way of overwhelming your opponents. Here's another. Pat Eddery's gloriously cheeky Coronation Cup on Rainbow Quest.
To travel, and it's Old Country who struck the front. Rainbow Quest in second place. Behind Rainbow Quest, beginning a run on the outside, is Long Pond. 2 furlongs to race. Old Country the leader from Rainbow Quest, who's moving up into a challenging position, coming towards the final furlong, and it is Old Country being joined in the lead by Rainbow Quest. Rainbow Quest coming up very smoothly past the leader, Old Country, and as they come towards the line, it's Rainbow Quest out on his own from Old Country and Long Pond.
We've heard of taking things easy, but that surely was ridiculous. On now to the Oaks, and stamina questions again. Bella Calora was to fail hers, but the most important of all was, could Oh So Sharp get 1.5 miles? After a few moments of doubt, the answer was magnificent.
Romantic feeling just going on from Domino's Nurse and Petradia, followed by Perfect Match. Behind Perfect Match is Bella Calora, and behind Bella Calora, Dance Machine. They're coming to the end of the first quarter, where at the rear of the field are Morning Devotion and Kalorge. But it is Romantic Feeling who's making the running by just over 1.5 lengths from Petradia, with Dance Machine and Oh So Sharp, the next 2. They're followed by Trip Teach and Perfect Match. They've got just under 1 mile to race, and it's Romantic Feeling from Petradia, with just behind these 2 fillies, Dance Machine and Perfect Match, together with Trip Teach. They're followed by Oh So Sharp. Behind Oh So Sharp is Domino's Nurse and Bella Calora, with just over 6 furlongs to race, and it's Romantic Feeling and Petradia from, in third place, Perfect Match. Behind a Perfect Match comes Oh So Sharp, who's moved up 2 places. Behind these are Trip Teach. They've got 5 furlongs to race, and Petradia now just going on as they come down to the foot of Tattenham Corner. Petradia in the lead from Perfect Match, and behind these comes Romantic Feeling. They're turning into the straight with just over 3 furlongs to race, and it's Petradia from Trip Teach, Oh So Sharp, and behind Oh So Sharp, Bella Calora and Dubian, as they come now to the final 2 furlongs, and Oh So Sharp is now coming to challenge and pass Trip Teach. Oh So Sharp has now stormed into the lead, and it's Oh So Sharp who has gone clear, storming home. Oh So Sharp is clear from Trip Teach and Dubian. Oh So Sharp storming home from Trip Teach and Dubian.
Oh So Sharp, already established as one of the stars of the season. On to Ascot and a first start of his campaign for a colt who was to become European champion at his distance, Roussillon, over 1 mile in the Queen Anne Stakes.
In the lead, being pressed all the time by King of Clubs, with making steady headway on the outside. Celestial Bounty, Prismatic is trying to get on terms with the leaders. They've got just under a quarter of a mile to race, and King of Clubs is coming now to challenge, and Roussillon is finishing rapidly. They're coming down now towards the final King of Clubs, and it's Roussillon who's stormed into the lead from Celestial Bounty and King of Clubs as Cataldi weakens.
Roussillon had many supporters despite that unattractive head carriage. In the very next race, the Prince of Wales Stakes, few looked beyond Pebbles or Comanche Run. The market was right with Roussillon, but this time we nearly all got it wrong.
He's made every yard of the running, and he leads from Pebbles, and making a little bit of headway is Bob Back, who's trying to get on terms with the two leaders. Comanche Run, Pebbles in second place, Bob Back third, Costly Lesson now trailing, and as they race down towards the final half furlong, and it's Bob Back putting in a determined challenge, Comanche Run and Pebbles from Bob Back.
Bob Back beating Pebbles and Comanche Run. Didn't anyone tell you? It's an inexact science. But now, logic restored. Bayern, short price favourite for the St James's Palace.
So just a half length between the two, but closing on the outside, Scottish Reel and Vin de France. Young Runaway is a close fifth on the inside. After these come Bayern on the outside, Leading Star, all tightly bunched, and Comparison as the back marker. Inside the last two, Scottish Reel has taken it up. Vin de France goes up with this one. On the inside, Bayern coming to challenge, and after these, Young Runaway. And the quartet go away from the rest of the field, and Bayern goes on with a furlong and a half to go. Inside the distance now, and it's Bayern just clear, coming down towards the last 50 yards now, and it is Bayern, Scottish Reel, Vin de France, Young Runaway close.
The classic form was holding up well at this stage, and in the Coronation Stakes, Alba Hathaway again did it proud, but her balance was a problem on the bend.
Making it a 2.5 length advantage as they straighten up. After this one, Ever Genial still tracking on the inside. Top Socialite making a bit of headway on the outside. Soprano quickly up into fourth place, and just behind these, a gap then to Charge Along, who's moved up 2 places. After this one, the back markers, who are Quiet Thoughts on the inside, and Devon Defender. Furlong and a half to race now. Alba Hathaway, Top Socialite, Soprano challenging both of them on the outside, but it is still Alba Hathaway with 150 yards to go inside the half furlong, and it's Alba Hathaway who's made every yard of the running, coming close home now. Alba Hathaway from Top Socialite.
Alba Hathaway, yet another winner for the Maktoum family, whose horses were carrying almost all before them. By contrast, things have been a bit lean for Robert Sangster, but the green and blue got a bit of fat back with Gildoran in the Gold Cup.
On the inside, and Longboat, who's dropped back a position or two, and they've got 3 to race. Coming into the straight now, Gildoran remaining clear, and by about 2.5 lengths here. Destroyer gets a reminder there, but it's the clear leader, Gildoran. 2 furlongs to race now. Gildoran still the leader, and maybe by a shade more, maybe a little bit more than 2.5 lengths from Destroyer. Long Pond running on well on the far side. Longboat on the outer, these two disputing third. After them, Old Country in 5th place, having lost ground. Then Ilium. After this one is South Gale, and it's Gildoran, but improving quickly is Destroyer and Long Pond, and Longboat on the outside. Gildoran with the lengths shortening very quickly, but Gildoran holds on.
That was one of the longest journeys of the Royal Meeting. This is the shortest. the King's Stand Stakes, the first leg of the European Sprint Championship, and clear proof that Never So Bold had never been so good.
Ground also is Paria, and they come to the 2 furlong pole, all pretty tightly bunched. Abhar on the near side has been joined now by Never So Bold. This one's made headway on the near side. Committed makes a run on the far side. Princess Tracy, Primo Domini improving a little bit. Parioli on the far side, but it is Never So Bold as they come inside the distance. A half to go now, and Never So Bold, a clear leader coming up towards the line. Primo Domini after this, and they go up to the line with Never So Bold, a clear leader.
Never So Bold, too good for the Irish challenge of Committed. But at least Ireland's major classic was kept at home. Law Society and Theatrical dominating the closing stages.
On the inside, Mukhtar cruising there in the centre, and Theatrical and Dempster has come on the outside now, and as they race in the straight with about 2 furlongs to race, it is Dempster on the near side, Theatrical, Mukhtar in along the inside, and here they race down to the finish, and Dempster and Theatrical are together, and Infantry is making ground, and here comes Law Society on the outside. They're inside the final furlong. It's Theatrical and Law Society. They're racing inside the final furlong, and Law Society has gone on. Law Society is the winner, Theatrical is second, Damnavant is third.
Pat Edery winning his first classic of the season. But in the next week's Eclipse Stakes, he was unable to continue his unbeaten partnership with Rainbow Quest, and hard though Alan Lecure tried, he could never get Rainbow Quest to mount a serious challenge to Pebbles in form.
Challenging position. Rainbow Quest gets a bit closer on the outside. Bob Back is close up between these last two, and they've got just over a quarter of a mile of race. Pebbles hits the front at this point. Rainbow Quest moves rapidly into second place. After this, Bob Back in third, and the pacemaker August now back last to the 4. Furlong and a half to go, and it is Pebbles, the filly, coming up to the final furlong pole with a 2-length advantage from Rainbow Quest. Bob Back a length and a half away in third, but improving on this. August a long way off in fourth, and it is Pebbles, the first filly to win this race. Pebbles comes home, Rainbow Quest, Bob Back in third.
Pebbles confirming herself one of the season's more predicted stars. But on now to a less expected one, Petoskey, and to a great stable having the very worst of luck. But if injury could cast Dick Hearn down, Petoskey and many others were to show that you couldn't count him out.
Making steady ground on the outside, the last two, Jupiter Island and Max Reef, and as they race into the dip, just over a furlong to go. Crazy, with Petoskey coming to take it up on the outside. Petoskey with his head in front of Crazy. Lanfranco's third. These three clear of Jupiter Island and going for the line. It's Petoskey who draws clear of Crazy in second. Lanfranco's third, but close home, Petoskey striding clear of Crazy.
Another leg of the European Sprint Championship now, and a number of Never So Bold Ascot victims were prepared to take him on over an extra furlong in the July Cup. They didn't get any joy.
Shares this third position, then between the two we have Committed, Never So Bold making a forward move on the inside rail, and then the back markers Grey Desire, Primo Domini, and between the two Dorney, these all pretty close together. So down towards the final 2 furlongs now, and we have Defana on the far side, Abba on the outside, coming to challenge now. Defana on the outer, and Never So Bold making a great run, this one going very fast indeed. So out of the depth now with Never So Bold going clear, and pretty readily at that. Inside the last 100 yards, Never So Bold, Defana and Committed dispute second.
Never So Bold in full flight. But look at him now, just seconds later. It was only a temporary condition, but it made you think that his brilliance had its price. That was 3 out of 3 for Never So Bold, but in contrast, Helen Street had got to mid-July without a victory. She put it right at the Curragh in the Irish Oaks.
The leader still, Fair as the Furs, and after that is Sally Brown. Dubayan, Alidar's Best with the white star on the outside. Dubayan in on the inside. Daffodil Walk not far behind. Keep the Faith in along the rails. And now as they enter the straight with less than 3 furlongs to go, it is Fair is the Furs on the inside of Sally Brown, and challenging on the outside is Alidar's Best, and these three now being chased by Dubayan. Helen Street making ground on the outside. And as they race now with the furlong and a half to go, it's Dubayan in the centre being challenged by Alidar. Alidar up there, and now it is Helen Street who's taken it over. Helen Street and Alidar's best. These two together now as they race down with less than a furlong to go. And there she goes. Another Oaks win for the Hearn stable. And it is Helen Street the winner. Alidar's best.
At last, a Group 1 victory for Dick Hearn. And things got better still when he put Petoskey in against Oh So Sharp, Rainbow Quest, Law Society and the rest in the King George at Ascot.
Rapidly, Infantry's in front of Oh So Sharp in second, Rainbow Quest is third. Then after these comes Tresium on the inside, 4, Law Society 5, and then after these comes Raft making headway as they come to the final 2 furlongs. Infantry on the rails, Rainbow Quest on the stand side. Coming between the pair of them is Oh So Sharp as they come to the final furlong. It's Oh So Sharp who strikes the front from Rainbow Quest in second. Petoskey's gone third, Infantry's 4, but it's Oh So Sharp being strongly pressed by Rainbow Quest in second and Petoskey, but Oh So Sharp with the advantage. Petoskey challenging strongly and going for the line. Oh So Sharp and Petoskey from Rainbow Quest.
That was Petoskey's hour. Injury then cut short his season, but he stays in training. What does Willie Carson think?
The Major had a lot of problems with a virus, and he was very badly affected just before the Derby. And there's Derby only once a year, so he did run. And of course, he stopped very badly coming down Tattenham Hill and stopped to nothing. Of course, he showed everybody what he could do at Newmarket when he gave Crazy a very comprehensive beating. And it was no shock to me when he won the King George and Queen Elizabeth. So I hope that the horse just stays as the same as he did that day. Unfortunately for us, he did split a rear cannon bone and had to be in his box for 2 months. So hopefully that won't interfere with him next year, because I'm sure if he had ran in a Ledger with the ground being on the top side, he would have won. Also the Arc de Triomphe.
Unlike Petoskey, Roussillon will be at stud in '86, and those who use him will do so because of performances like this in the Sussex Stakes at Goodwood.
Byrne is trying to get a run up on the outside. Just behind him is Sharp Romance. Over on the inside, King of Clubs, last is Great Azar. They've got 2.5 furlongs to race. Still Cataldi from Bella Calora. Now Byrne getting into full flight in third. Byrne coming strongly, and Byrne comes sweeping through to take up the running. Roussillon just behind, and so too is Villicaya. Coming to the last furlong and a half, and it's Byrne in front from Roussillon. Villicaya is third, then King of Clubs finishing well in Bella Calora, but it's Roussillon, disqualified last year, taking up the running now. Roussillon from Byrne, the two joint favourites, and it's Roussillon and Greville Starkey from Byrne and Lester Piggott. Close home, Roussillon it is in front from Byrne, King of Clubs and Villicaya.
Roussillon winning at a very glorious Goodwood. 2 days later, the old Sussex track was at its least inviting. Yet it saw a return of real significance. Chernazar's first race since the '84 St Ledger, and a clear defeat of his better fancied stable companion, Shadari.
In third place is Shadari, and after these three, and still very prominent up on the outside, is Derby Lady, running down to the final 2 furlongs, and it's here that Shadari goes on over on the far side, and here comes Chernazar. So it's Shadari and Chernazar finding the best turn of finishing speed and quickly comes right through to show in the lead. So as they race into the final half furlong, it's Chernazar in front from Shadari. The 2 stable companions, Chernazar and Shadari, from Royal Coaches Assemblyman. Close home, it is Chernazar from Shadari.
Older horses may have to give weight to their juniors, but they can also have the legs of them, as Comanche Run showed when he took on Oh So Sharp in the Benson and Hedges and beat her from the front.
Followed by Oh So Sharp and the second filly Triptyque. Then Supreme Leader in fourth, Paris Music tracking these fourth leaders. Bob Back still very close, running down to the final 2, and it's Comanche Run leading still from Oh So Sharp and Triptyque. Into the final furlong and a half, Comanche Run and Lester Piggott in his last season as a jockey. Comanche Run from Oh So Sharp and Triptyque, and Comanche Run is still in front. Into the final furlong, Comanche Run from Oh So Sharp, then Triptyque. These three have gone clear now, Supreme Leader, Palace Music and Bob Back, but close home it's Comanche Run making all the running to win from the favourite Oh So Sharp.
No real excuses for Oh So Sharp at long odds on, and again none for Helen Street at 11 to 8 on an hour later in the Yorkshire Oaks.
Then Kiliniski, and these four have now drawn clear of Petradia, Coline and Helen Netter. Coming to the final furlong and a half, and it's Sally Brown in front from Helen Street second, then Alidar's Best and Kiliniski down towards the distance, with Sally Brown hanging on well from Helen Street. Not much between these two. Kiliniski being produced for a run on the inside, but it's Sally Brown still with the advantage. Close home, Sally Brown holding on from Kiliniski, now the danger, and Helen Street.
Sally Brown responding to Walter Swinburne's driving. Next day in the Voltigeur, Walter had to work even harder on Shadari, and though he got the result, he wasn't to keep it.
Tune throughout. Shadari, though, being produced for his run. Mango Express is not done with. Then comes Infantry, 2.5 furlongs to run, and it's Damaster still in the lead, but Shadari now getting very close. Nothing between the two now, Damaster and Shadari. Infantry now coming up to dispute third with Mango Express. A furlong and a half left. Damaster hanging on bravely on the inside of Shadari. Infantry has been switched to challenge on the outside to go third. Mango Express is beaten now back in fourth, and it's Damaster still ahead of Shadari. Coming to the final half furlong, Damaster with Shadari throwing down the challenge now. Shadari just getting up and close home. It's just Shadari from Damaster.
The York stewards thought there was contact enough to have affected the result. The London stewards thought the Walter Swinburne was careless not to have switched his whip for a second time. But he got his horse running, he was going for the line, Damaster himself came away from the rail. I think that Walter was unlucky to lose it. The worries surrounding the William Hill Sprint were of a veterinary rather than a riding kind. Would Never So Bold get through without remembering the pain at Newmarket? He did.
They've completed a furlong and a half, and Storm Warning the filly leads from another filly, Avion second, and Sharp Romance third, Prince Sabo 4, Never So Bold 5, the last two are Primo Domini and Princess Tracy. Just past halfway now in this William Hill Sprint Championship, and into the final quarter of a mile, it's still Storm Warning in front. This one's led throughout so far. Never So Bold is putting in his bid now. That's coming to challenge on the outside. Primo Domini on the near side, and now it's Never So Bold coming through to take up the running from Storm Warning. Never So Bold going on now by a length, by 2, from Storm Warning and Primo Domini. Close home, Never So Bold from Primo Domini.
Never So Bold completing his big sprint treble in Yorkshire. And across the Atlantic, 3 days later, Teleprompter, Yorkshire's favourite flat horse, was to do the homeland proud in the Budweiser Million in Chicago.
13th and last, they've got a half mile to run in the race. Teleprompter circles the fire, turns shortly. Tsunami slow, running at him now. Second, Free Guess picks up the leaders out there strongly. Third, Almamone. Racing fourth, Dramalis. Dropping back in fifth, Queenton. Finally finds Racing Room to the middle of the track. But it's still Teleprompter, the one to catch. Here they come, spinning out of the turn. Teleprompter cuts the corner, dashing clear. Tsunami slow in second, Queenton. Out there, Racing now. Third, Almamone. His fourth, Flame Pigeon. Down along the rail, Racing in fifth. Down the stretch, Teleprompter has it by 3. Queenton is flying. Teleprompter. Here's Queenton, but it's Teleprompter. Teleprompter by 3 points of a length. He takes it. Queenton is...
Back in England, Derby winner Slip Anchor was at last back in action. He was as bold and brave as ever here in Kempton's September Stakes, but he couldn't hold Chernazar at less than weight for age.
Outside supreme leader, and the back marker is now Southern Dynasty. Under 3 furlongs to go. Slip Anchor, Chernazar, still the same margin between these two, just a clear half length. They've gone about 4 lengths away from the next one, which is Supreme Leader after this Circus Plume. Finally, Southern Dynasty, and they approach the final furlong pole. Slip Anchor, Chernazar closing a bit, challenging on the outside. The pair of them a long way from Supreme Leader. Chernazar up and taking it up with a half furlong to go. 50 yards to race now. Chernazar on the outside of Slip Anchor and holding it. Supreme Leader after this, and Circus Plume.
And now to a sprint without Never So Bold, but not without its arguments. The Vernons at Haydock, thought to be dominated by Michael Stout's pair, Defena and Primo Domini. They both ran well, and Defena may have been unlucky.
Javatat racing prominently on the far side. Just in behind the leaders on the near side is Defena, and then comes Cragside, Primo Domini just in behind the leaders on the far side, but they have a furlong and a half still to go. Orajoya now takes it up from Chart Romance on the far side. Primo Domini now goes to the third, then comes Grady Fire, and then comes Defena, but they're well inside the final furlong. Orajoya in the lead, but strongly challenged now by Primo Domini on the far side as they run up towards the line. Orajoya, Primo Domini and Defena.
This was one of those races when the gaps would never come for Lester Piggott when he really wanted them, and in fact he wasn't going that well. At first we have Grey Desire and Orajoya up in front, Lester tacking across, hoping for a gap between them. But don't forget these are top sprinters and they're all quickening now. Lester has a bit of a gap there, he gives a crack, but he's not good enough to take it, and there isn't much room anyway. Then as we come into this final furlong, remember they're going at 40 miles an hour, he tries to get between Primo Domini and Orajoya. There's never going to be much room there. For a moment as we get into the last 50 yards, he tries to go to the right of Orajoya, tries to go to the right, there isn't a gap there. The last flourish, he goes between, but the line's coming up, he gets completely squeezed up, but it's past the wire. Next day in the Phoenix Park, he didn't have a single cause for complaint. Who could on Comanche Run?
At the back is Vice Admiral, but Comanche Run is a two-length lead now from Scottish Reel in second, and their third place is Damister. They're followed towards the outside by Helen Street putting in a run, then Bayamont Bob back in leading council. Racing down inside the last quarter mile, and Comanche Run out in front. He's 3 lengths clear. Damister in second, then Scottish Reel, and they're followed by Bayamont, Helen Street, and then Bob back, but racing inside the final furlong. Comanche Run has made it all. He's running on really strongly to win this in most impressive style. The favourite Comanche Run storming clear of the Phoenix Champion Stakes. Racing up the line, Lester Piggott, Comanche Run, the second leg of this $1 million bonus achieved. He's won it well. Bob back is second. It's close for third between...
A year before, Piggott and Comanche Run had been the heroes of the St. Leger. This time, Lanfranco was his ride, his final classic mount. Hard though he tried, Lanfranco wasn't up to the task. Even 1 3/4 miles was within Oh So Sharp's compass.
And quickly goes on 2 lengths in front on Lanfranco, who is followed in second place by Cosdar. The filly has been settled down in third, Oh So Sharp. She's being followed in fourth place up on the outside by Troy Fair. And the last two are Fardante and the outsider from Ireland, Nemain. After just about 3 furlongs, there's no change in the order. Lanfranco is making it by almost 2 lengths from Cosdar. Oh So Sharp, a similar distance away in third. Remaining fourth on the outside is Troy Fair. In fifth place, Fardante. And sixth and last is Nemain. Continuing up on the far side of the course, shortly they'll be climbing, and it's quite a steep rise past the 1 1/4 point, and Lanfranco is still 2 lengths up on Cosdar, who in turn is 2 up on Oh So Sharp. Troy Fair very close in fourth place, then comes Fardante, and finally Nemain. And Lester Piggott is just quickening the pace up slightly. He's almost 3 lengths clear now on Lanfranco from Cosdar. Then comes Oh So Sharp and Troy Fair. Troy Fair, in fact, now goes into third, relegating Oh So Sharp to fourth. Fardante remains last but one, and last of all is Nemain. They're now about 9 furlongs from the finish, and Lanfranco, who took up the running shortly after leaving the stalls, continues to set the pace, followed by Troy Fair, who continues to improve. That's now gone second, in front of the long-time second Cosdar. Oh So Sharp, the dual classic winner, is in fourth place. The last two are still Fardante and Nemain. And up front, Troy Fair is now within hail of Lanfranco. There's only half a length between the two. This is halfway now in the Holston-Pilsen Ledger, and Lanfranco only just leads, followed by Troy Fair, then Cosdar 3, Oh So Sharp 4, Fardante 5, and Nemain 6 and last. They're inside the final 5 furlongs, and Lester Piggott and Lanfranco still lead. From in second place, Troy Fair and Paul Cook. After these, Cosdar and Willie Carson, then Oh So Sharp Steve Cawthon. At the 4 furlong pole now, and Lanfranco continues to lead. Lanfranco followed on the outside by Oh So Sharp, now coming up to challenge. Coming to the final 3 furlongs, it's Lanfranco leading. Oh So Sharp is now second and seemingly full of running. After her comes Fardante making headway, then Cosdar, then Nemain. Troy Fair, who was second, is dropped right out of it. That's last. And it's now Oh So Sharp. 2 furlongs to go, and it's Oh So Sharp who's taken it up from her stable companion Lanfranco, who is under the whip. And it's oh so sharp from Lanfranco. Fardante running on well, so is the outsider Nemain. But it's oh so sharp with a furlong to run. Oh so sharp from Fardante and Lanfranco. Nemain running on strongly and running up towards the line. It's oh so sharp in front. Oh so sharp comes to win the Triple Crown. Close home, oh so sharp in front.
This is a wonderfully brave performance by Oh So Sharp, but in some senses almost an idle one. Steve Cawthon knows her really well by now, and he's not taking any chances. He doesn't hang at the back, he comes to attack Lanfranco fairly early in the straight. 2 furlongs to go now, and Steve's really going for everything. Those elbows are going. Soon you give a crack with the whip, and as he does so, the filly hangs away from the rail. You'll see she hangs across, and for a moment one thought that Fardante, this moment here, might be impeded, but in fact he is behind her and able to come between her and Lanfranco. He's not good enough. The filly is always good enough as long as she doesn't throw it away, and Steve Cawthon's never going to allow that.
Oh so sharp comes to win the Triple Crown. Close home, oh sharp in front.
Oh So Sharp is a fantastic filly, probably one of the greats of all times, and she certainly did us proud this season. She won 3 classics. She was beaten twice by Comanche Run, who was an older horse, and also in the King George, which was a particularly good race this year, I feel, on the ground. And I hate to make excuses, but there were a couple in the race for her. And luckily she finished off the season with a good win, and hopefully she'll be in training next year.
The form was hardly franked when Fardante next appeared in Ascot's Cumberland Lodge Stakes and couldn't hold a candle to Shadari.
Into the straight with under 3 furlongs remaining. Crazy still the leader from Shadari. Crazy on the rails, Shadari towards the stand side. Assemblyman maintains his 3rd position, but Shadari goes on before the 2 furlong marker. Quickens quite easily, a length clear of Assemblyman, now 2nd. Fardante starting a forward move, goes past Crazy, who's 4th. Max Reeve 5, and as they come now to the final furlong, Shadari with a commanding lead. 3 or 4 lengths from Assemblyman in 2nd, Fardante is 3rd. These 3 clear of their rivals and going for the line. Shadari drawing ever further clear of Assemblyman in 2nd and Fardante in 3rd.
That performance was one of enormous promise for Shadari's 4-year-old season. 2 days later, we saw one of the performances of the whole year, when Shadid returned to action after his Derby disaster, and significantly to a 1-mile trip. Bairn was in again, as was Teleprompter with Show of Hands as pacemaker. But with Shadid on form, the pace was always too hot.
Upon 6 as they come now to the final quarter mile, with Shadid striding 2 or 3 lengths clear of Bairn, who goes back into 2nd. Young Runaway is 3rd. Pennine Walk 4th. Teleprompter 5. But it's Shadid with a commanding lead. 3, 4 lengths as they come to the final furlong. Shadid from Bairn in 2nd. Then after these, Teleprompter goes back into 3rd. But going for the line, Shadid with a clear advantage over Bairn. Teleprompter coming to challenge for 2nd. Zyzophon finishing well, but Shadid clear of Bairn and Teleprompter.
Even though Teleprompter never managed to lead, at least he ran his race. Poor old Free Guest had completely failed to fire against him in Chicago. But back home at Newmarket, she wasn't prepared to give an inch. She didn't have many to spare against Capo di Monte in the Sun Chariot.
The order much unchanged since the start. Alba Hathaway continuing to set it. This one by about 3 parts of a length now. Free Guest on the inside, Purchase Paper Chase on the outer, and this one's been joined by Ever Genial moving a bit closer. 3 furlongs to go. Alba Hathaway on the rails by a half length here. Capo di Monte is immediate challenger on the outside. Free Guest not far away. Ever Genial moving to a challenging position on the outside, and the back marker Purchase Paper Chase, this one some lengths behind. So Capo di Monte coming up to take it up, in fact, as they go into the dip from Alba Hathaway and Free Guest, who disputes 2nd. Ever Genial a close 4th, but not getting much closer. Free Guest puts in a strong challenge coming up to the line though. Capo di Monte and Free Guest, not a lot between these two. Ever Genial in 3rd.
And so to Longchamp and the Arc. Sagas, with 2 pacemakers, Herald East and Bally2, was the defending champion, but noticeably wore bandages for the first time. England's challenge was headed by Chernazar and Rainbow Quest. Sagas's pacemakers did their job almost too well, but in the end, Sagas himself undid it.
Towards the home straight. Herodis, the pacemaker, still in front from Sagas in second place. Ayades is third. Rainbow Crest on the outside is four, and Shernazar and Walter Swinburne in a lot of trouble there on the outside, and that's halted his progress as they come down towards the final 2 furlongs. And Herodis, the pacemaker, moving off the rail to let his stable companion Sagas come through and take it up. And it's Sagas who takes up the running. Herodis now dropping back in second place as Ayades comes up on the outside with Rainbow Crest. Then behind these is Sumer and Kazana as they come towards the final 2 furlongs. And it's Sagas and Rainbow Crest, these two going on from Sumer. Kazana coming out of the pack, running on strongly in fourth. Fitner against the rails is fifth, and Balitou making late progress. But inside the final furlong now, and Rainbow Crest nearly upside Sagas, but Sagas is holding on as they come inside the last 100 yards now. Pat Edry and Rainbow Crest fighting hard, but they're not going to get there, and Sagas is going to hold on up towards the line. Sagas is the winner from Rainbow Crest in second.
Now, we all know Sagas got disqualified, and amongst professionals, it was no surprise whatever. Because when you look at the head-on, it's quite clear that Eric de Gris, with his whip in his right hand, makes a classic error. He hits the horse once and he rolls into Rainbow Crest. That might be excused, but when he gets him straightened up and hits him again and again goes into Rainbow Crest, well then, he's never going to have any chance of keeping it, whatever country in the world you're in and however many appeals you make. So it actually took 12 days to finally decide the Arc winner. But it only took 2 minutes, 4.79 seconds to learn the outcome of the showdown of the season, the Champion Stakes, the only race of the year with 4 classic winners in opposition.
I return you to the grandstand.
So just about halfway in the Dubai Champion, Slip Anchor still setting a cracking pace in the lead. Close behind comes Supreme Leader on the stands rails. After these, Vertige, and then Comanche Run towards the outside, poised right on the heels of the leader. Helen Street not far behind. Pebbles making a forward move, followed by Aunt Edict. They race up now towards the bushes, and it's still in the lead, Slip Anchor and Comanche Run, and then there's a gap of a length to Pebbles, who goes very easily into third. Slip Anchor the leader as they pass the bushes, then Comanche Run, Helen Street on the outside. Pebbles comes to join them as they come now to the final 2 furlongs with Slip Anchor on the stand side. Helen Street and Pebbles, and it's Pebbles cruising into the lead from Helen Street. Slip Anchor comes next, then after these Palace Music, and into the final furlong, and it's Pebbles who strides clear. 2 lengths, 3 lengths, Pebbles leading, then comes Slip Anchor, Palace Music, Helen Street going for the line. Pebbles is clear of Helen Street and Slip Anchor.
Quite simply, that was the performance of the season, and overshadowed Comanche Run's failure to give Lester Piggott a triumphant farewell to Newmarket. A week later, he was no luckier at Newbury, riding Free Guest in the St Simon Stakes. Billed as a virtual match between her and Shadari, Shadari made it no contest.
But Shadari gets first run. Shadari from Free Guest, spot her white face coming to the final quarter. And it's the 2 favourites out in front now, Shadari and Free Guest. Shadari has the call though, Shadari and Walter Swinburne from Free Guest and Lester Piggott. And it looks as though they're going to finish in that order because Shadari is well clear. Coming down to the distance, and it's Shadari a long way in front now, Free Guest. These two have the finish between themselves. They're well clear, with Chaumier running on into third. But close home, it's Shadari, number 7, pulling well clear in the St Simon Stakes from Free Guest.
Shadari stays in training. He's certainly something to watch in '86. Almost as much as the winner of the final senior race we show you, across the Atlantic at Aqueduct, New York, the 1.5-mile Breeders' Cup turf. It might have been in America, but it brought together such European stars as Shernazar, Lashkari, Strawberry Road, Teleprompter and Pebbles. If there'd been any doubts beforehand about Europe's Horse of the Year, what happened along the inside rail ended them in $2 million triumph.
And Lashkari as the field turns for home. Greenton charging after Teleprompter. Pebbles with racing room now, and a daring move by Pat Eddery, and Pebbles has taken the lead. It's Pebbles now in front. Strawberry Road coming after it from the outside. Strawberry Road and Pebbles, they're dueling to the finish. Pebbles is game and determined. Strawberry Road driving hard. They're running out of ground. England Super Filly. Pebbles has won it.
And so to the 2-year-olds, and in 1985 to as difficult and labyrinthine a set of form as anyone ever tried to unravel. If we had 6 of these tapes, we still couldn't guarantee to give you every vital clue to next year's developments. For instance, while the last review included the Houghton Stakes, it somehow omitted the Watton Manor Stud Stakes at Nottingham in October. The first gave us Shadid, but the second would have spotlighted Slip Anchor. So here now, for half an hour, is a journey through what seemed at the time to be the most significant elements of 85's juvenile form. And we start at Royal Ascot, at one time a compulsory beginning for important 2-year-olds, but much more often passed by in recent years. Not this time, for our first example is the Coventry Stakes, involving as it did 2 principal players, Moorgate Man and Shoreblade.
Shoreblade, steady improvement on the outside, as is Cliveden, but they've got 2.5 to race now, and we've got 5 almost in line. The lead still with Native Wizard, but it's only by inches as Shoreblade runs on the far side. Cliveden continues to go up with this one. Marsdead also improving a little bit, but they come down to the final furlong pole now, and we have Shoreblade the leader inside the distance. Shoreblade by almost a length here from Cliveden in next place. Moorgate Man and Mazard dispute the next place. Running on a bit after this is Celtic Air, but coming up to the line, Shoreblade is the leader.
Subsequent performances were to show the merit of the first 2 home, as indeed was the case for the 2nd and 3rd Welsh noted Kingscote in the next day's Queen Mary Stakes. So how good was the winner?
Close up after these Ringtail, then the favourite Gwydion, who is well placed. Just after Gwydion and tracking her is Iberian Start. They've covered the first quarter of a mile, and as Welsh Note gives way, it's now Lovely Chimes going on from Gwydion. Gwydion on the outside of Lovely Chimes. Between the 2 is Ringtail. Welsh Note being switched again to challenge over on the far side. After these 4, there's a bit of a gap before Bridesmaid. Then comes Kingscote, Smooch, Lammerstide and Iberian Start, but they're into the final furlong and a half. And over on the far side, Welsh Note coming again strongly to challenge the favourite Gwydion. And it's these 2, Welsh Note, Lester Piggott, Gwydion and Steve Cawthon, racing up to the line, nothing in it between Welsh Note and Gwydion, these 2 from Kingscote and Bridesmaid.
Gwydion wasn't able to run again, but that performance showed her a bargain for her $55,000 purchase price as a yearling. But what is value? Wassel Touch cost nearly 100 times as much, $5.1 million. Yet this, his only racecourse appearance at Goodwood in August, still promises enough to make him worth the cash.
This is the halfway point in this Berkshire Electronic Stakes, and it's Wassel Touch, the favourite, one from the left as we look down the course at them, that just leads Alcacer going up now 2nd. So it's Wassel Touch leading the group on the outside. Alcacer, the clear leader though on the stand side, and I'd say that was in front. Alcacer in front from Wassel Touch. After these 2, making headway is Turfar, then Emrys running on strongly, followed by Into the Gap, but over on the far side, Wassel Touch has come through to go on again, and it's Wassel Touch, the favourite, under Willie Carson, going well clear now, coming up to the line, Wassel Touch well clear from Alcacer, Turfar and Into the Gap.
And so north to Newcastle and to the Seaton Delaval, this year featuring Dick Hearn's much-discussed Newbury winner Seattle Siesta, Barry Hill's Ascot winner Rackstraw, Peter Warwin's Stalker, who'd been 3rd in the Richmond, and of course the Coventry runner-up, Moorgate Man.
Then comes at the back of that main bunch, Rackstraw, then comes Seattle Siesta, and as they approach the final furlong, it's now Bold Arrangement, just the leader from Firm Landing, and Moorgate Man going up rapidly on the outside, and inside the final furlong, Moorgate Man going on from Bold Arrangement, Firm Landing and Stalker, and as they go to the line, it's Moorgate Man from Bold Arrangement, and moving rapidly into 3rd place is Rackstraw.
Moorgate Man's exact merit is hard to judge, as he was dispatched to America after just one more unsuccessful run, this time in France. But that Newcastle form was boosted when Stalker reverted to front-running tactics in the Gimcrack at York and proved all too strong for the odds-on Storm Star.
Stalker being tracked by the favourite Storm Star, then on the outside, and still very prominent DJS. Coming to the final two, Stalker leads, Storm Star is now second, Laconica coming with a strong run too. After these, DJS, then Priory Place, Prince Peccadillo is last, and it's Stalker still in front, and the favourite's got quite a lot to do. Into the final furlong, and Stalker is clear of Storm Star in second place, and the filly looks to be going to be turned over. It's Stalker drawing right away now, racing up towards the line in the Gimcrack stake. Stalker well clear from the favourite Storm Star.
Stalker's all-the-way style was very much a pre-race plan. When Shawblade did the same thing in Doncaster Champagne, it was much more from lack of enterprise amongst the others.
Laurent Perrier Champagne, and it's still Shawblade and Faustus disputing it together, followed by Sit This One Out, Barrack Street and Churin Yuriev. 2.5 to run, no change in the order. Shawblade still has the nod ahead of Faustus in second, then Sit This One Out in Barrack Street, and Trulin Yuriev being produced for a run now on the extreme outside. Coming down to the final furlong, and it's Shawblade quickening in good style from Faustus, with Trulin Yuriev fairly flying at the finish. Then comes Barrack Street. Sit This One Out has dropped back last. Into the final half furlong, it's Shawblade being pressed now by Faustus and Trulin Yuriev. Close home, Shawblade ahead.
Shawblade in charge there over 7 furlongs, but back over 5 in the next day's Flying Childers, Green Desert showed that he might be quite a sprinter in 86.
And they're all pretty well grouped except for Volida, she's last of all. And the leaders are Green Desert, Marruble, Dublin Lad and Atol. Just over 2 furlongs to race. And it's Marruble and Green Desert together, these two, with Wanton picking up the leaders now. That's gone into 3rd place in front of Dublin Lad. They're followed by Mummy's Secret. Atol can find no more and is beaten. Runaway is well beaten, that's last. Into the final furlong, and it's just Green Desert from Marruble, nothing between them. Green Desert the favourite, and Lester Piggott running up towards the line. Green Desert it is. Green Desert by half a length from Marruble.
Within the week, we'd had a fillies race at Newbury, from which far greater hopes were claimed. They even talked of Mill on the Floss as a future Oaks winner.
Close up after them, I can see Euphoria, who's been tracked by their favourite Mill on the Floss, who at the moment is having quite a job to get through. Coming to the final quarter of a mile, and up front, it's Able Dancer from Fashada. Shujan is dropping away, Euphoria still there. Mysterious Dancer is coming on strongly. So too is Queen Helen on the extreme outside. Coming now down below the distance, and here it's Fashada from Able Dancer. Mill on the Floss has got the opening and is flying at the finish and racing up towards the line, and so too is Queen Helen. And it's Queen Helen and Mill on the Floss together. Close home, Queen Helen and Mill on the Floss.
Well, whether any of those win the Oaks, let's now look at the race which in 84 gave us the future Oaks winner, Oh So Sharp. It's hard to say quite how much the form amounts to, but heavens, you have to admire the way Untold battles for the line.
After these Tender Loving Care and Moonlight Lady Galisa and Sunly Sinner. So they turn into the straight, 2.5 to race. Hidden Brief leads, Untold one off the rails is a close second, Sue Grundy is 3rd. Then after these comes Meteoric 4, then Sunny Sinner 5, Tender Loving Care 6. Racing up now towards the final furlong. Hidden Brief still the leader. Untold comes under pressure in second. Making some ground on the far rails is Moonlight Lady, and as they come well inside the final furlong, it's Moonlight Lady who takes it up. Moonlight Lady from Untold. These two drawing clear of Sue Grundy and Hidden Brief and going for the line. Moonlight Lady and Untold the leaders.
Untold winning a rare tussle. But that was as for nothing compared to the Colts battle at the end of the Royal Lodge. Bonhomie and Waterkey were stable companions, but no quarter appeared to be asked or given.
Then comes Jewelled Reef on the outside, and New Trojan has gone back to last, while Waterkey's made ground and he's gone into 3rd. Coming now to the final quarter mile, Silvino with a 2-length advantage. Bonhomie's in 2nd, stable companion Waterkey 3rd. Then after these My Ton Ton 4, they're well clear of Jewelled Reef 5. As they come to the final furlong, Silvino with a clear advantage. Waterkey just getting the better of Bonhomie for the 2nd place and closing on the leader as they come into the last 100 yards. Waterkey on the stand side, and Bonhomie very close with Silvino going back to 3rd. Going for the line, it's Bonhomie from Waterkey.
Bonhomie just got the verdict by a head. But later that day, things were a whole lot easier for Sonic Lady in the Blue Seal Stakes. It was one of those races that everybody knew beforehand and everyone was right. But what no one knows is how good were those she beat.
Sonic Lady leads by well over a length now. Sea Power just about second in the centre of the group, with Warm Welcome on the stand side a close third, but in fact gone back up into second. Sea Power now third, then comes I Love Lucy on the far side, Mill Racer and Etta's Pet on the stand side, and coming now to the final furlong, with Sonic Lady drawing steadily further clear of Warm Welcome in second. Sea Power's third, Mill Racer's fourth, and going now for the line, Sonic Lady right over on the far rails, but a long way clear of Warm Welcome. Sea Power finishing well to challenge for second. Close home, Sonic Lady's the leader.
Now we go to Newmarket and to the start of what should be a series of clarifying races for the two-year-old form. First the Cheveley Park, and hopes for the Lowther winner Kingscote, the highly rated Storm Star or the Irish Hope Park Express to impose themselves upon the scene. They were all turned over by Embla. The last should be first.
Together with Bambolona, just behind them on the far side, Careless Whisper and Nashia still prominent right over on the far rail. They've got about 2.5 to go, and passing the bushes, the lead being closely contested by Storm Star and Rose of the Sea. Asteroid Field just in behind them, Careless Whisper and Nashia prominent on the far side, and coming strongly down the centre is Kingscote. Furlong and a half to go, and they'll shortly meet the rising ground, and quite a few still with a chance. Rose of the Sea on the far side, Storm Star and Kingscote, not a lot between those three as they meet the rising ground. Kingscote coming through to take it up from Rose of the Sea, but still very close between them. Embla finishing very strongly as they run to the line. It's Kingscote from Embla and Rose of the Sea, but it's close.
Pat Edery beaten on Kingscote. How does he rate her?
Well, she's, for me, the best filly I've ridden this year. She won the ladder very easily. First time she ever had given the ground, and she showed that she really enjoyed it. So come next spring, hopefully she'll get plenty of give by the guineas, and she'll be a very good contender.
So confusion amongst the fillies, but in our next race, the Somerville Tattersall Stakes, there appeared to be a straightforward result between two colts. The odds-on Truly Nureyev winning smoothly from the promising Huntingdale. But watch this finish, because it could be one of the most significant clues to 86. Will Truly Nureyev always have the legs of Huntingdale?
And also prominent towards the centre is Nisnas. Just behind the leaders now is Commute, and they're passing the bushes, and the leaders still closely grouped, and Truly Nureyev is one of the leaders, together with Batter Back, and then Janiski just two off the far rail, and then behind these Nisnas, making good progress in the centre is Huntingdale. They're running down into the dip. They're short to be making the rising ground, and Truly Nureyev on the far rail is the definite leader now, from Huntingdale running on strongly still in second. These are followed by Batter Back, but as they come well inside the final furlong, it's Truly Nureyev from Huntingdale. They're 1 and 2. Batter Back is third. Close home, Truly Nureyev from Huntingdale and Batter Back.
Now the Middle Park, a race whose significance this time was the pricking of a bubble. Alcacer had won one minor heat at Yarmouth, impressively to be sure, but did that entitle him to be 6-4 for the Middle Park? Stalker had exposed some limitations in the gimcrack, and his blitzing style did it again.
Alcacer close up 5, more remote is Pop the Cork last to the 6. Into the dip now, Stalker, who's made it all, and this one by almost 2 lengths here as they come up the rise, but this is rapidly being decreased. But Stalker pulling up a little bit more, as I said that, and they're inside 100 yards. Stalker, in fact, now going away from Silvino and Leda Montrose disputing second.
For all his merit, nobody got excited about the sprint-bred Stalker for the 86 Classics. But Midway Lady, who had attracted plenty of attention at Doncaster, underlined her worth with a brave victory in France's richest fillies race, the Prix Marcel Boussac on Arc Day.
As they make their way to the straight, and it's Electric Storm, the leader, from Midway Lady in second. Then comes Femme de Nuit. In behind these come Donna Seeker and Bristle and Field in Aziram, making a little bit of progress at Galumpe. Then comes River Bride and Glyphada. Moonlight Lady Pat Edery looking for a run on the inside as they come down towards the final 2, making this last turn. And it's Electric Storm in front, now being strongly challenged by Lester Piggott on Midway Lady in the yellow and the black colours. And Midway Lady takes up the running from Electric Storm, now beginning to drop out of it. Fieldy looking for a run on the inside. Coming with a strong one on the outside is River Bride and Galumpe as they come down towards the final furlong. And it's Midway Lady with the advantage from Fieldy in second place. Moving into third is River Bride. In behind these come Galumpe and Glyphada as they race now towards the last 100 yards now. And Midway Lady is just hanging on from Fieldy, who's being strongly driven up on the inside. Midway Lady, Fieldy, just in behind these come Galumpe up towards the line. Midway Lady just holding on from Fieldy. River Bride.
Midway Lady, a horse of obvious classic claims. But in this particular year, it's hard to rule out any impressive maiden race winner. So what a Sugan, one run against unraced opponents at Ascot in October.
Just ahead of Festival City, then Pas de Regret on the outside, making good headway is Penwood on the far side. After these comes Centella, Mac, Pilot Jet running on a bit on the far side, all those some way from the leader. Passing the two, Zohan the leader, with Penwood improving all the time, and this one just a length and a half or so away. After this one comes Exceptional Beauty, who's just about in third place. Pilot Jet is close, and on the near side Festival City and also Hollow Hand. But the leader Zohan well clear now, and Hollow Hand in fact taking second place. Zohan from Hollow Hand, Pilot Jet probably just about third.
Sugan wins, but what did he beat? That's the sort of question that bedevils this year's form and has even to be asked about this impressive-looking victory by Queen Helen in Ascot's Hyperion Stakes.
3 furlongs to go. Holbrook Sutton still the leader and still just clear of, on the outside, Shoreground, who's just a nose into second place. Zorbar's very close, as is Boone Point and Queen Helen. The back markers are on the near side Sunny Liz and on the far side High Knoll. And they come down to the final furlong pole, still pretty tightly bunched, and Holbrook Sutton and Queen Helen, with Queen Helen going on, running on strongly on the near side now. Just after these is Sunny Liz, but Queen Helen clear coming up to the last half a furlong. Queen Helen from Sunny Liz after this, and after this one Boone Point.
Queen Helen winning at the second time of asking. But for the northern-trained Hallgate, the Cornwallis Stakes was an 11th run of the season and a 7th success.
Followed by Etta's Pet. Just after these is Hallgate, then on the near side Roaring Reaver. Back markers are Laconica, and after this one Cronk's Quality. 2 furlongs to race now, 3 virtually in line. Welsh Note in fact just a nose in front, but Maruba quickens now and comes to challenge this one. Relegated to third place, the first to break Sperry, and they approach the final furlong pole now. Welsh Note just ahead as they enter the distance. From on the near side, Favourers, who goes on very strongly. Marubal on the far side. Also with this one we have on the far side now Hallgate, and Hallgate takes it up very late on.
Hallgate is very tough, but he doesn't figure on many classic shortlists. One who looks likely to is Ali Me Lord, the good-looking winner of the Chesterton Stakes.
Then after these, Horowitz making a steady forward move, and so too towards the outside is Ale Milord. So they come up now towards the final 2 furlongs with Topkapi on the rails, Horowitz one off the rails. Ale Milord still making steady headway ahead of Jumbo Hurt, and these followed by Final Curtain, and also behind these on Tenterhooks. But they come now to the final furlong and a half, and Ale Milord has quickly gone clear of Horowitz in second. On Tenterhooks is third, and then after these finishing well, Quez Albert going for the line. Ali Milord a long way clear now of Horowitz in second, on Tenterhooks in third.
So to the Dewhurst, whose winner usually tops the 2-year-old ratings. Will he this year? Shoreblade would have done if he'd won it, but Huntingdale?
Nomination, and close behind them Shoreblade with Bakarov on the far rail. Then after these Jarir on the stand side, and then Woodman making a forward move as they pass the bushes. Just over 2 furlongs to go, and Nomination is now the leader as Teneos begins to fade. Bright as Night comes next, and then Shoreblade comes into second making his challenge. Woodman still making steady headway on the stand side. Coming now to the final furlong of the William Hill Dewhurst. Nomination about to be challenged by Huntingdale on the stand side, and Shoreblade on the far side, but it's Huntingdale the leader from Shoreblade. Bakarov finishing well though to his Woodman. Going for the line, Huntingdale leads from Shoreblade.
Well, many people were surprised. Does the replay show any major hard luck stories? The first thing you see is that Huntingdale had quite a bit to do, really. Had a little bit of trouble getting a bit of room. Then when he stretched, he does it very well. Shoreblade coming to tackle Nomination. Bakarov, admittedly, is at the back and having to work his way through. But it's Huntingdale now who's stretching. Woodman on the right on the outside. Shoreblade alongside Huntingdale. Bakarov coming behind him. But as they race towards the line, what one can say is on the day, the best horse was Huntingdale. So Huntingdale seems to have won on merit. Let's just hope that he has a more successful second season than the '84 Dewhurst winner Carla Dancer. And if the 84 Houghton Stakes gave us Shadid, will the 85 result foreshadow classic success for the Queen with her filly Laughter?
They've got 3.5 to go. Cigar still in front from Pycea towards the far rail, and then Berkeley Street and Verdant Boy just behind those, and they're followed by Laughter and Farm Club, and finally Shazad, who's a little bit behind. Past the bushes as they start to run down into the dip, and a Cigar being passed now by Verdant Boy, and Pycea still right there on the far side, and Laughter in the centre coming to join issue with a lot of them. They'll shortly be passing the furlong marker and meeting the rising ground, and we've got 3 in contention. We've got Laughter, Verdant Boy, Berkeley Street and now Pycea. So we've got 4 with a chance as they meet the rising ground. Laughter the definite leader from Pycea behind these Verdant Boy, but as they run towards the line it's Laughter from Pycea, they're 1 and 2, and close home it's Laughter from Pycea.
Laughter beating the colts in the Houghton. In the Rockfell, fillies only, but something of an upset. Mill on the Floss was supposed to clinch a reputation, but ended well beaten behind Tralfie.
Also right there is Shining Poppy, Pilfer, Mill on the Floss and Shining Poppy. They're disputing it, and they're closely followed in the centre by Singletta. Just behind that one we have Likeness, and following that one through is Basically Better. They're starting to run past the bushes and downhill with 2 furlongs to go. And Shining Poppy is still in front from Tralthig on second. Close up third in the centre is Singletta, and these 3 are clear at this point. They're starting to meet the rising ground with just over a furlong to go. Tralthig on the far side shows with a definite advantage, but Singletta coming very strongly. And as they come inside the last half furlong, it's Tralthig from Singletta. Behind these Likeness and Shining Poppy, but close home is Tralthig from Singletta. These 2 are clear.
Singletta couldn't quite do what was expected of her there. Michael Stout and Walter Swinburne ended the year with remarkable strength in depth amongst their 2-year-old fillies, and at Newbury we saw another, when Bella Calora's half-sister Colour Spin won the Rochford Thompson.
And coming to the final 2.5, and it's still Chernicheva and Colour Spin. These 2 both in black jackets and white caps. Chernicheva, though, is the one on the inside, and Colour Spin on the outside of her now goes into the lead. It's Colour Spin taking it up now, being pressed by Salco. Then comes Spun Gold making ground. These are the first 4 now. They're followed by Donna's Dream, Mysterious Dancer, and Lion of Ivory. La Zingara and Sleepless Night have dropped right out, but well inside the final furlong now, and it's Colour Spin from Salco, Chernicheva and Spun Gold, and close home it's Colour Spin from Salco.
If the distance of the first 2 from the rest of the field made that form look convincing, the reverse seemed to be true when the Horace Hill produced yet another muddling result amongst the 2-year-old colts.
As they get to halfway in the Horace Hill is Edgewise has just dropped back a place or 2, so coming to the final 2.5, and the 2 leaders who've gone on now are Foos and Celtic Air. Then after these 2, the favourite Ininsky making very good ground now into the final quarter of a mile, and it's Celtic Air in front, followed by Foos, then the favourite Ininsky, followed by Top Ruler, Hollow Hand making late headway, then comes Hello Anani, followed by Janiski and Pokey's Pride. Camilla's Boys dropped right out, that's last of all. And into the final half furlong, it's Celtic Air just in front from Hollow Hand, racing up towards the line. Celtic Air from Hollow Hand and Hello Anani.
And so to Doncaster, and to a chance for the Dewhurst second Baccaroff to instil a degree of order into the 2-year-old form. Baccaroff won, but is this classic style?
In towards the 3 furlong from home marker, Waterkey continues to lead from Coogan Heights, Baccaroff, and then comes Bold Arrangement taking closer, and so too is Nomrude. They got just over 2 furlongs still to go. Little to choose at this stage now between Bold Arrangement, Baccaroff, Nomrude on the near side, Waterkey on the far side. That's the leading 4 with a furlong and a half still to go. Nomrude and Bold Arrangement now going away from Baccaroff, running on to 3rd place. Then is Dolskoy, but they pass the furlong from Homerod. It's Bold Arrangement, but Baccaroff trying hard to get back on terms on the far side. It's Baccaroff who now takes up the running as they won to Waterline. It's Baccaroff in the lead from Bold Arrangement, Nomrude and Waterkey.
Amongst the questions at the beginning of last season, would Bury Hill Lad carry all before him right through the campaign? Could Gay Brief regain his hurdling crown? Would John Frankham go out still right at the top of the tree? Sadly, only the last gave us a complete answer, but at least he and Borough Hill Lad combined to give us some moments of marvellous power.
Phil the Fluter from Gay Chance. Come by is a close third. Everett is fourth on the inner. Tracy's Special is fifth. And then after these comes Borough Hill Lad. Now they round the turn into the fourth fence from home with Phil the Fluter and Gay Chance. Gay Chance possibly just in front towards the centre as they turn into the straight. Borough Hill Lad making ground on the inner. Canny Danny still well in touch. After these come Everett and Tracy's Special as they come to the fourth last. Phil the Fluter the first to rise from Gay Chance towards the stand side. Then after these Canny Danny, Borough Hill Lad moving steadily closer towards the inner. Then after these Tracy's Special, then Everett at the third last with Gay Chance just the first to rise, but Borough Hill Lad comes to join them on the far side. It's Borough Hill Lad who now takes it up from Canny Danny on the stand side. Phil the Fluter's in third, then after these come by Tracy's Special. But as they go for the last, Borough Hill Lad has gone clear of Canny Danny in second. It's Borough Hill Lad the leaner with one fence to jump. Canny Danny's second, Gay Chance is third. These three are clear of Phil the Fluter and 14ers Express, but Borough Hill Lad safely over the last in the Hennessy. And as they go for the line, Borough Hill Lad is clear of Canny Danny in second. Gay Chance is third. And in the last 150 yards, it's Borough Hill Lad striding clear, 10 lengths, 12 lengths of Gay Chance in second. Then after these comes Phil the Fluter and 14ers Express.
Borough Hill Lad there confirming himself as king of the roost. With the hurdlers, it wasn't so simple. Dawn Run was going chasing, and the old champion Gay Brief was on the comeback trail. He'd taken the first successful step at Ascot, but here at Cheltenham didn't have enough guns for the previous season's top novice, Brown's Gazette.
Close up on the inside, and Easterly now just beginning to lose touch with the main body of the field. Running downhill towards the second last, where Brown's Gazette continues to lead. Gay Brief gets much closer on the inside. Beige and Sunshine and Stan's Pride are improving on the outer, and they're clear of Easterly. One flight to jump. Brown's Gazette continues in the lead from Stan's Pride, who goes second. Then Gay Brief third, Beige and Sunshine fourth, and they're clear a long way out in front now of Easterly. Making the turn for home with one flight to jump. Brown's Gazette the leader. Stan's Pride on the stand side. Gay Brief now starting a run on the far side. Beige and Sunshine is fourth, and they're clear. Heading towards the final flight, and it's the young pretender Brown's Gazette being pressed by the ex-champion Gay Brief. Coming to the final flight, Brown's Gazette on the stand side, Gay Brief on the far side. And as they touch onto the run-in, it's Brown's Gazette just out in front from Gay Brief, who's challenging on the far side. These two are clear of Beige and Sunshine, and as they go into the closing stages in the Beulah Hurdle, and Brown's Gazette has made every yard of the running, and he's going on again from Gay Brief, who's struggling. Then comes Beige and Sunshine in third.
Brown's Gazette looked good there, but even better on Boxing Day at Kempton against Desert Orchid and See You Then.
Just a shade closer in fourth place. See You Then some 4 lengths away after this in fifth. And then finally Rushmore and Stan's Pride. Rushmore having lost places. So inside the last 4 furlongs now, Desert Orchid going back to the other 3 who are all challenging now. Janus, Brown's Gazette has improved probably most on the outside now, challenging for second place. Ronover comes next. See You Then is a close fifth. A gap to the other 2, Rushmore and Stan's Pride. And they've got 3 furlongs to go now. Just the 2 to jump. Desert Orchid on the inside, not headed yet in the race, although Brown's Gazette is close now. Jumping this one with Desert Orchid on the inside, Brown's Gazette a length and a half away. These two just clear by some 3 lengths from See You Then, who's improved a lot. Janus comes next, then Ron Nova, Rushmore, and finally Stan's Pride. And Brown's Gazette strides on majestically, coming down to the last, takes it up from Desert Orchid, and already clear, up to the last now. Brown's Gazette over it from Desert Orchid. Then we have See You Then. Janus dived over it, then Ron Nova, then Rushmore, Stan's Pride, a mistake. But coming home now, and it is Brown's Gazette well clear and sprinting home. Brown's Gazette, Desert Orchid, and then after this, See You Then, Janus in fourth.
A runaway win for Brown's Gazette, and things looked even easier for Borough Hill Lad against just 2 others in the King George VI. But racing isn't always like that.
Very little to it really, and they're again together as they jump the next one. And this time Wayward Lad makes almost a length. Wayward Lad, Borough Hill Lad on the inside of the turn, and then Coomsditch after these, and they've got a half mile to go now. Coomsditch, in fact, has closed and is just a length behind these two. So they come round into the home straight, 3 to race now with Borough Hill Lad going on, and this one by a length and a half as they enter the straight. Coomsditch takes second place from Wayward Lad, who's now back in third, and they've got under 3 furlongs to race now and 3 more fences to jump. Borough Hill Lad, Coomsditch in hot pursuit. Wayward Lad a long way away now in third place. Borough Hill Lad over safely. Coomsditch jumped it well and comes rather closer. They've got 2 more to take now, 1/4 mile to race. Borough Hill Lad in the centre of the fence, Coomsditch on the far side. Just a length separating these two, and they've gone well clear of Wayward Lad, jumping very slowly in third and last place as the leaders come down for the final fence. Borough Hill Lad on the outside, Coomsditch trying to get on terms, and indeed jumps up with the leader as they take the last one. 150 yards to go, Borough Hill Lad near side, Coomsditch on the far side. Borough Hill Lad by a very small margin, but Coomsditch fights back. These two head and head as they come to the line.
Borough Hill Lad just got there in the photo, but unluckily he didn't make Cheltenham or Liverpool. One who did, and was to start joint favourite for the National, was West Tip. Here he is in the Mildmay Caslett Memorial at Sandown, getting £24 from the Hennessy second Canny Danny, and the weight told its tale.
Lannerai to this one and jumping clear this time. And they go into the turn. Lannerai with West Tip reclosing on the flat and going up to within a length. Bold Yeoman just a length after this, another length to Canny Danny, and something pretty similar to Little Polvere. So the 5 still remarkably close together on this long journey, and they're 3 from home now with about 3.5 furlongs to race. West Tip disputing it with Bold Yeoman as they come up for this one. Canny Danny's been moved up on the outside. Lannerai on the inside is very close still. And these 4 are going to jump it all within a length. Bold Yeoman goes here, nasty looking fall. And they've got 2 more to take now. West Tip is left in the lead. Canny Danny and Lannerai dispute second place. Little Polvere close 4th. 2 more to take now, furlong to race. West Tip's going to rise just in the lead. Canny Danny almost with him, and certainly with him after they've jumped that one. They've left Lannerai, who goes back to 4th place as Little Polvere moves up 1. So it's West Tip and Canny Danny to the last, and they rise together. Then after this, Little Polvere, Lannerai after this, and it's West Tip by a small margin. 100 yards to race now. West Tip coming up the hill in great style and holding on well. West Tip, Canny Danny, Little Polvere, Lannerai in 4th.
Amongst the juvenile hurdlers, the biggest early reputation was for the free galloping Wing and a Prayer. True, there was a defeat at Cheltenham, but at Haydock for the Victor Ludorum, he was back to his running and jumping best.
The leaders swinging for home now, and they've all gone pretty wide. They're avoiding the inside rails round that turn. And Lan Hydrock and Wing and a Prayer are still first and second. Against the Grain and Ace of Spies are closing. So too is No Harm Done. The race is seemingly between these 5. They've drawn well clear of Mary Jane, Dad's Gamble and Scholar. And coming on now towards the final 2 flights. They're inside the final 3.5 furlongs. And here Ace of Spies is coming through just behind Wing and a Prayer, who now leads. The favourite leads, but Ace of Spies is close. No Harm Done is poised just behind the heels of the 2 leaders. Then against the Grain, Lan Hydrock is dropping away. This is the 8th and final flight in the Victor Ludorum, and it was Wing and a Prayer who led at it. Wing and a Prayer from Ace of Spies, and here comes No Harm Done. Wing and a Prayer being challenged now by No Harm Done. Not much between the 2 as they race up towards the line. Wing and a Prayer just hanging on from No Harm Done, and with 100 yards to go, the favourite now going away from No Harm Done. Close home, it's Wing and a Prayer.
On the same day at Haydock, the time-formed chase looked a formality for the Gold Cup hope Forgive and Forget. But he found he had to pull out all the stops to collar the Dickinson's new Irish recruit, By the Way.
And coming now to the 3rd from home, and it was By the Way who led at that one. By the Way from Forgive and Forget now second. Then Richardstown in third place. Golden Friend is running on now. Then come Carpenter's Way and Young Lover. They've only 2 fences left to jump because they doll off the ditch and the water. And it's By the Way jumping this one in front from Forgive and Forget. Richardstown back in third. And Carpenter's Way has fallen, but he was out of contention at the time. Carpenter's Way and Chris Grant fall. They've fallen right underneath the rails too. The horse getting up now. Meantime, at the last fence, Forgive and Forget has come up to challenge By the Way, and there's nothing between the two now. By the Way and Forgive and Forget, and these two have gone clear of Golden Friend and Richardstown. They're on the run for home, and it's Forgive and Forget coming up now, just in front of By the Way, but By the Way fighting back. There's nothing between the two. It's just Forgive and Forget, though, from By the Way. Close home, Forgive and Forget is going to win it for the second year running. Forgive and Forget from By the Way.
No surprise in 2 Yorkshire horses fighting out a major jumping finish. But it's not often we get a Scottish horse winning at the Cheltenham Festival, not like Harry Hastings won the Waterford Novices Hurdle.
Welsh Warrior, who has tracked the leaders throughout, is in fourth. Roicus is making headway together with Cat's Eyes as they take the next. Harry Hastings over in the lead. Arrow Run second, then Welsh Warrior. Behind Welsh Warrior comes Hypnotic. They're followed by Kesslin. Behind Kesslin, Terry Ash making a little headway, coming to the 7th flight, and Harry Hastings is over first. Arrow Run second. Welsh Warrior beginning a run with Kesslin. Behind Kesslin comes Music Be Magic and Cat's Eyes. Hypnotic is losing ground, making the final turn, and it is Harry Hastings who is in the lead. Harry Hastings as they come to the final flight. Kesslin has moved into second. Arrow Run is third. Jumping the loss, Harry Hastings over, Kesslin over second, then Arrow Run and Welsh Warrior, and as they race for the line, and it is Harry Hastings retaining his lead. Kesslin is second, then little to choose between Welsh Warrior, and finishing very fast indeed on the inside comes the Brina.
Victory for Scotland there, and in the very next race, the Arkle Trophy, a marvellous 1-2 for Ireland with Boreen Prince and Buckhouse.
On the inside, being pressed by Townley Stone and Buckhouse, then comes Roadster, and behind Roadster, St William and Care No More. At the 10th fence, very promising, and Buckhouse take it together. Then little to choose between Boreen Prince, St William, Care No More, Townley Stone and Roadster. Coming now to the 11th fence, the penultimate obstacle, and it's Buckhouse from very promising. Boreen Prince has gone up into 3rd place, making the final turn, and it's Buckhouse the leader from very promising. Boreen Prince in 3rd place, and these 3 have gone clear from Roadster and St William. Racing now for the final obstacle, very promising, and Boreen Prince coming now to join Buckhouse, coming into the last fence. Boreen Prince and very promising from Buckhouse, and as they race up the hill, and there's little to choose between Buckhouse, very promising, and Boreen Prince racing for the line, and it's Boreen Prince and Buckhouse from very promising.
And now the champion hurdle, and all too dramatic proof that even the start can be crucial. Brown's Gazette, 6 to 4 on, but where's he going when the starter pulls the lever?
And they're off. And Brown's Gazette ran very wide to the left as the tapes went up and has lost several lengths. Coming now to the first.
Despite losing all that ground, Brown's Gazette had worked himself close enough at the second last before his efforts took their toll. But from what happened off the turn, you can wonder if he would ever have matched See You Then in this fighting mood.
Brown's Gazette, who's beginning his run, coming now towards the 7th flight. Northern Trial in the lead from Gay Brief, then Brown's Gazette, then Fred Kateri. Behind these comes See You Then, beginning now to make the final turn. Brown's Gazette beginning his challenge on the outside, and it's Gay Brief just goes on from Brown's Gazette. They're followed by See You Then and Fred Kateri. Robin Wonder coming with a run, but as they come towards the final flight, and it is Gay Brief who's in the lead from See You Then. Gay Brief over from See You Then. and there was a faller. The faller was Northern Trial, and as they race for the line, and it is now See You Then who's gone on, with coming up into second place Robin Wonder, racing for the line. See You Then from Robin Wonder and Gay Brief.
So in the end, an absolutely clear-cut victory for See You Then. But in the Waterford Crystal Stayers hurdle, things got a whole lot more complicated. Rose Ravine and Crimson Embers in the same colours, but hardly going in the same direction.
Rose Ravine running between these two. Bajan Sunshine coming as well, as also now is Crimson Embers at the next flight. And here it was just Rose Ravine who touched down in the lead. With just one flight of hurdles to take now and just over 3 furlongs to run, it's Rose Ravine 1, Enoch 2, Crimson Embers, the stable companion of the leader, a very close third. Then Bajan Sunshine, right behind Bajan Sunshine comes another shot, then Gold Spun, Boland's Cross, Vivark, Wonderwood now weakening, but they're at the home turn with under a quarter of a mile to go. And it's Rose Ravine on the inside from Enoch. Then Crimson Embers, another shot. Bajan Sunshine staying on well at the 13th and final flight. And it's the two Fulk Whirlwind runners, Rose Ravine and Crimson Embers, fighting out the finish from Enoch. The two leaders coming right over towards the standside rails. But it's just the mare Rose Ravine from Crimson Embers, then Enoch. And close home, it's Rose Ravine in front from Crimson Embers.
This was one of those times when the stewards got it wrong, but it wasn't officially admitted until too late. Because Rose Ravine gets her steering wrong here. She runs Crimson Embers right towards his outside rail, and look at that, he has to really snatch up. In the end, he only gets beaten the neck. The argument was that she would have won anyway. Well, if a horse is run completely round the track, then he gets beaten the neck. It's a very, very hard argument to sustain. Whichever way you side in that finish, both of them were trained by Fulk Whirlwind for so long a fixture in the Cheltenham Winners' Circle. But for Paul Kellaway, Azir's brilliant victory in the Sun Alliance hurdle was his first festival success as a trainer.
And 10 of Spades grimly hanging on to his lead from Azir, with the Liquidator next and Shergold. She's coming well now, the favourite, on the outside as they take this one, which was the third from home. And over this, Shergold has moved right up now to 10 of Spades, with Azir still there up on the outside. Shergold back in third, in fact. Then comes the Liquidator. After these is Torridge, but coming to the second last, and Azir it is who's just taken it up now. Azir from 10 of Spades and Shergold, then the Liquidator over the last, and Torridge with under 2 furlongs to run now. And it's Azir, Ronnie Began drawing clear now from 10 of Spades and Shergold, then over the last, the Liquidator and Torridge. But on the run to the 10th and final flight, it's Azir. Azir up and over safely from Shergold going into second. And on the run for home as they race up the hill, it's Azir and Ronnie Began well clear now of the favourite Shergold, with over the last and Torridge finishing well. But close home, it's Azir well in front from Shergold and over the last.
A first time for Azir, but in the Queen Mother Champion Chase, it was the third time in a row for Badsworth Boy. But would it have been if Bob's Line had stayed upright?
And the runner's beginning to bunch up now. Going to jump this one. All the rest are plain fences. And Farbridge from Kyoto makes... And Bob's Line has gone. The favourite, Bob's Line, has fallen. Bob's Line fell at the 10th fence. And so coming to the 11th, Badsworth Boy now has moved up to dispute it with Farbridge, then Kyoto, and Badsworth Boy now hits the front. From in second place, the early leader, Farbridge. Kyoto back in third, Left Bank is fourth. On the final turn, and it's Badsworth Boy bidding to win this one for the third year in succession. A totally unprecedented performance if he can do it. Badsworth Boy coming to the last, ears pricked, clear now at the last. And it's Badsworth Boy safely over from Farbridge, the early leader, then Kyoto and Left Bank. And on the run for home, it's Badsworth Boy, the 11-8 second favourite, racing up the hill to retain his title and to take it for the third year. Badsworth Boy it is.
A third champion chase for Badsworth Boy, but also a last one because he's now retired. With luck, we'll see a lot more of First Bout. Faced with no less than 26 opponents in the Triumph Hurdle, but justifying many people's confidence with style.
And a quick step from First Bout. These are the three leaders. Making a little headway towards them is Shepherd's Hymn. Racing towards the elbow with one flight of hurdles left to jump. And it's First Bout now who's gone on from Try to Stop Me and Quick Step. Behind these is Pucker Major. Making rapid late headway comes Tonbad. But as they race towards the final flight, and it is First Bout with another making headway, No Harm Done. Quick Step in second place, Humberside Lady third, racing now for the last. And it is First Bout from Pucker Major, then comes No Harm Done, coming into the last, First Bout over, then No Harm Done there, followed by Humberside Lady, and finishing very strongly indeed is Mark Miller. But as they race now for the line, and it's First Bout in the lead from No Harm Done, and finishing very strongly on the inside is Against the Grain.
Now the Gold Cup itself, and with Borough Hill Lad at absentee, it might have been something of Hamlet without the Prince. Not that anyone from the Fitzgerald stable would agree. They'd claimed all year that Forgive and Forget would take the crown, and how unforgettably were they right.
And Half Free and Dromedani take it together from Forgive and Forget. They're followed by Coombs Ditch. Behind Coombs Ditch, making some headway, is Boreen Prince. Swinging now to the elbow, 2 fences left to jump, and Half Free has just gone on from the blinker Dromedani, close up behind the 2 leaders, Forgive and Forget. Then comes Coombs Ditch on the stand side, right-hand man, and Boreen Prince trying to get on terms, approaching the penultimate fence, and Half Free lands from Forgive and Forget. Then comes Boreen Prince, and on this stand side, Coombs Ditch, coming now to the last. Half Free being pressed now by Forgive and Forget. And Forgive and Forget is over in the lead from, in second place, right-hand man, who's finishing very strongly, coming up the hill, and is Forgive and Forget with right-hand man in second place, approaching the line. Forgive and Forget from right-hand man and Earl's Brig.
Forgive and Forget's road to glory. But if you watched Wayward Lad trail round behind, you were bound to think him a light of other days. But in Liverpool's Whitbread Gold Label chase, he was rekindled by a patient and inspirational ride from John Frankham at his greatest.
Earl's Big, pressed now by Tom's Little Al. Earl's Brig the leader, Tom's Little Al second, then the others getting a little bit closer. Half Free has been in third place throughout, followed by Wayward Lad, Royal Bond and Coombs Ditch. Over the next, and Earl's Brig on the inside, showing just ahead from Tom's Little Al, with Half Free and Royal Bond and Wayward Lad all trying to get on terms. Earl's Brig over first, and Half Free and Royal Bond are now coming at the leader. Coombs Ditch is still last. Tom's Little Al on the stand side. 2 from home. Earl's Brig now being pressed by Half Free, Wayward Lad and Royal Bond. At the rear of the field is Coombs Ditch, racing now for the final fence, and it's Half Free, Wayward Lad, Earl's Brig and Royal Bond coming now into the last, and Wayward Lad takes it just first from Half Free, and as they race for the line, and it's Wayward Lad from Half Free and Earl's Brig.
A Wayward Lad comeback there, but Old Glory was still eluding Gay Brief. For much of the straight in the Sandyman hurdle, he looked like taking Bajan Sunshine anytime he wanted. But in the end, the straight was too far and the capitulation complete.
Losing a length on the turn into the straight where Bajan Sunshine leads. Gay Brief has come right up towards the leaders together with Rose Ravine, who's coming back to join them as they come to the third from home. Bajan Sunshine showing just in the lead from Gay Brief. Behind Gay Brief is Rose Ravine, and behind these Fred Kateri and Passage Creeper, racing now for the last flight but one. Bajan Sunshine on the far side, Rose Ravine, Gay Brief between them, Robin Wonder is dropping right out of contention, and as they race for the final flight, it's Bajan Sunshine and Gay Brief who've gone on from Rose Ravine. Bajan Sunshine over just in the lead from Gay Brief, and as they race for the line, and it's Bajan Sunshine from Gay Brief. These two beginning to draw away from Rose Ravine inside the final furlong, and Bajan Sunshine has gone on from Gay Brief and Rose Ravine.
And so to the Grand National itself, and to a result which even confounded the winning horse's owner and trainer. For who could fancy Last Suspect, an old thinker who liked to be on his own and unflustered, and whose last effort was to down tools halfway round at Warwick.
And as they come onto the racecourse towards the end of this first circuit, Doody is still well clear from Glen Fox in second place. Imperial Black right behind in third, then comes Rupertino 4, Corbière 5 and Roman Bistro 6. These 6 in front of the next bunch are headed by Grease Paint. On his outside comes Scott Lane and Royal Appointment at Last Suspect. In behind them come Captain Parkhill, West Tip, Classified and Musso. Then the two stable companions, Feathered Friend and Broomy Bank. Mr. Snugfit towards the rear with Drumlargan and Clonturtin. Then in behind these, the final 3 of this main bunch, Honour Promise, Toppertilly and Immigrate. Though Doody comes down towards the next fence, still well clear as she comes to it. Doody over safely, but jumping way out to the left from Imperial Black in the centre. Then towards the outside come Glen Fox, Rupertino racing in between them, Corbière making good progress on the inside, the White Blaze in 5th place, then Scott Lane and West Tip. In behind them, Royal Appointment and Classified. At the next, the fence before the chair, and Doody is safely over with a 3-length lead from Rupertino second. Then towards the outside comes Glen Fox in third. Corbière goes up a place into 4th as Imperial Black drops back to 5. West Tip is 6, Scott Lane is 7. Then comes Drumlargan in 8, Broomy Bank is 9. Towards the outside, Royal Appointment and Last Suspect as the leader takes the chair. Doody over safely, then Rupertino second. A mistake by Imperial Black and also by Scott Lane. A bad mistake by Captain Parkhill, whose rider's nearly out the side door, but he's managed to get back in the plate. But he's lost a lot of ground as Doody comes to the water, still a long way in front. From Rupertino second, being joined on the outside by West Tip in third. Corbière is close up on the inside in 4. Racing wide of these on the outside is Last Suspect. Then comes Imperial Black getting reminder from Drumlargan and Grease Paint and Royal Appointment, and Broomy Bank and Classify beginning to make some progress. Out onto the country now for the final circuit. Rupertino. Then on the inside is Grease Paint. Towards the outside is Last Suspect. These 4 come to Valentine's virtually in line, and it's Corbière just in front of Rupertino and Last Suspect. Racing on the inside in 4th is Grease Paint, and these 4 are clear of Scott Lane in 5, Mr. Snugfit making some progress in 6, then comes Classified in 7 as they come down towards the next. Corbière with the definite advantage now from Last Suspect, jumping up into second pass, playing past Rupertino, who's beginning to weaken in 3rd. Then comes Grease Paint under pressure in 4th as they come down towards the next, and it's Corbière in front of Last Suspect, Rupertino and Grease Paint. These 4 over safely in front of Mr. Snugfit, who's still making progress on the leaders. Then comes Scott Lane and Classified, and these are well clear of Glen Fox and Imperial Black as they come down towards the next. This the 3rd from home, and it's Corbière with the advantage from Last Suspect. Corbière over safely from Last Suspect, who's badly hampered by the loose horse, and Huell Davis had to snatch him up there, lost him a length or 2 as they go across the Melling Road, coming onto the racecourse for the final time. Corbière, the leader, bidding to win the Grand National for the 2nd time in 3 years. The winner in 1983 with a 4-5-length advantage from Grease Paint from Ireland, moving into 2nd place. Then comes Mr. Snugfit, making progress all the time, going up into 3rd. Racing on his outside is Last Suspect. These 4 are well clear of Classified, who's making progress in 5, going past the weakening Rupertino as they come down towards the final 2 fences. And the 4 leaders beginning to bunch up. Corbière just in front from Grease Paint on the inside. Mr. Snugfit coming there with a strong run to join them. On the outside in the yellow is Last Suspect. These 4 in front of Classified in 5 as they come down towards the 2nd from home. And Mr. Snugfit moving up on the outside now to challenge Corbière for the lead as they take it. And Mr. Snugfit lands just in front of Corbière over the 2nd from home. Mr. Snugfit going on from Corbière. These 2 clear now of Grease Paint in 3rd. Last Suspect under pressure on the outside in 4, and Classified 5. Down towards the final fence of the National. Phil Tuck for Yorkshire on Mr. Snugfit. He's over safely from Corbière, and he's going clear as they come down the long run in now. Mr. Snugfit 4 lengths in front of Corbière. Grease Paint on the inside under heavy pressure in third. Last suspect is 4 and Classified 5 as they come towards the elbow. And Mr. Snugfit, 5-6 lengths clear of Corbiere. Last suspect and Grease Paint as they come to the elbow. And Mr. Snugfit and Phil Tuck have this lead over Corbiere and the last suspect on the outside. Then comes Grease Paint losing ground back in 4. And last suspect and Hugh Davis getting a strong run now. And Mr. Snugfit being strongly challenged by last suspect on the outside. Mr. Snugfit and last suspect, and Hugh Davis is getting up on last suspect inside the last 20 yards now, and last suspect snatches it on the line from Mr. Snugfit in second.
If last suspect was impossible to predict, our last jumping race brings back the most predictable training team of recent years. It doesn't matter whether it's the father, the son, or now the mother. The Dickinson team can do the business. Their horse was By the Way.
Is By the Way, Duke of Milan on the inside. Then after these comes Why Forget, and then Come By on the outside and Androma. But as they jump the third last, it was By the Way who led. By the Way now drawing clear of Duke of Milan in second. Then after these comes Why Forget in third, Androma 4, Come By 5 at the second last. And By the Way was the leader. By the Way now with a commanding advantage. Androma moves into second. Why Forget's in third. Duke of Milan 4. Come By 5, and with one fence in the Whitbread to go. By the Way's the leader. He's safely over it from Androma in second. Androma's finishing well, but going for the line in the Whitbread. By the Way's the leader. Androma's challenging hard. Why Forget's in third, and in 50 yards to go. By the Way's the leader with Androma challenging and Why Forget in third.
That's the racing year of 85, but we can't leave it without seeing again what it'll be most famous for, the last sightings of Lester Piggott.
Racing uphill, Shadid being strongly challenged by Byrne in second with 100 yards to go. Shadid is the leader in the Guinness.
Inside, Byrne coming to challenge, and after these young run away, and the quartet go away from the rest of the field, and Byrne goes on with the furlong.
In his last season as a jockey, Comanche Run from Oh So Sharp and Triptyque, and Comanche Run is still in front into the final furlong. Comanche Run from Oh So Sharp, then Triptyque. These three have gone clear now. Supreme leader Palace Music and
That's last into the final furlong, and it's just Green Desert from Marubal, nothing between them. Green Desert the favourite, and Lester Piggott running up towards the line. Green Desert it is.
Going very fast is Tarrant. There's not a lot between these two at the furlong pole. They're just clear of Serrano de Bergerac, who's made great lead headway, comes up the hill in good style as well, and challenges Tarrant up towards the line. Tarrant on the rails, so Serrano de Bergerac on the outside.